Hello. Okay, good. And I just want to make sure that you all hear me. You know me and technology. I'm recording just in case for whoever couldn't make it on. So we'll give everyone like 5 minutes. Who's here? Fiji, Sarah. Hey, Vincent. Hi. I figured we'll go over the calls that they made today just to make it easier. I know someone had questions about one of these trades. I believe it was the buy limit, so we could go over that. Go ahead. Wait, you cut out. You learned about what? Right when you said I learned about, I didn't hear you. I was like, wait, you learned what? Yeah, I hear you. Yes. So basically it's no different than when you like hire a party, an entertainment company to come throw a party for you. You know they're gonna take their fee off top. So that's the same thing with the brokers. So they want to make sure they get their money in case you lose the trade, in case you blow your account, they're gonna take their money up front. Yes. So the other day they gave out a trade at around 4 o'clock. I think it was like 4 or 5 o'clock. And someone mentioned, I believe it was CJ, had asked about the spread. I personally don't like jumping into trades at that time anyway, and I'm going to show you guys why. But remind me before we get off this train, I'm going to show you why I don't take trades at that time. But the spreads, if you notice, from 4 p.m. till about 6, sometimes more like 5, 5:45, something like that. The spreads are going to be insane. They're going to be about 3 times what they normally are, which means if you jump into a trade at that time, it takes you a long time to get into profit. That trade has to move. And the problem with that is if that trade reverses, you're really screwed. So you're better, yes. So you're better off just waiting, and that's what we're gonna do right now. Is I'm gonna show you how to draw those boxes again. Just waiting for a better entry, especially when the trades get called at that time. Unless you see it's like a small trade, they've been throwing some of those out there with like a quick 30 pips. 30 pips, it can move within like 20 minutes, sometimes less. So sometimes if they're throwing it out at that time, it's probably because they just see a quick move and they're just trying to get everyone some pips real quick. So you changed your MetaTrader 4 to advanced, right? The settings, so you can see the spread? Okay, good. Okay, did you write them down? Because I don't want you to forget. Yes, because you know how you know how it is. I know me personally. I'm like, I swear I had 10 questions. No clue right now. All right, so let's go into the first one. So let's see. One of them is from yesterday, but I just wanted to show you guys for a reason. What can I do with this thing? Let's put it down here. Okay, so this was a sell. Now this, I marked this bar right here. This is when they called it. So this is when the trade ran out. So they marked this, they called this as a sell. If I personally, I didn't take this trade because I was in my own personal trade, but if I was looking at this trade, if I came to my chart and looked at this, I probably would have jumped right in this one. Now they did mark it as sell right now. So it was actually a good trade to just jump right in because you can see, I always use the Heikin-Ashi candles. So it's pointing down. It's a strong candle. If you're using these candles, you want to make sure it's a strong candle. It's long. The body of it is long. Because if you see something like this, a small body, I'm questioning if this thing is about to reverse, what's about to happen because it's really not strong yet. So I would wait. But remember, I went over this in my last training when I was going over the oscillator. You want to make sure that you're catching a trade in the first or second bar. So since this is a sell, hold on. Let me put this down here so you guys can see. And Vincent, I'm going to send you the training I did on this part because I don't want it to, yeah, I don't want you to be lost on this, but I have a whole training on this part. So you're seeing right here, this is when they called it. If you look to the bottom, this is the first red candle to the bottom. So that's a really good time to jump in this trade. Even though it came up a little bit right here, that's fine. This is still showing you it's a good time. So you're not going to really be in drawdown too much. How much drawdown was that if you would have got in right here? Yeah, it's just about 4 pips. And then you can see it kind of took off. So this would have been a perfect entry. I didn't even need to draw a box on it. The times that I draw a box is if they would have called a sell somewhere in this area. As you can see, it's more consolidating. It's trading to the side. But as you can see right here, it's dropping. So I would have not even drawn a box. I would have got right in this trade right here. Did anybody take this one? I might have you all muted. I'm asking you questions. Oh, no, you know what? You can all unmute yourself. Yeah, I personally didn't take this one, but it was a good one and it moved fast. I should have jumped in this. So I don't know who's using these candles. If you're using these candles, remember, again, I think this was CJ or no, actually it was Charlie that asked about stop loss and take profits. Those are all recommended prices. You don't have to go by them. So this move, obviously, I think the take profit was lower. Let me see. Let me go to the 1 hour. Yeah. See this actually this trade is still in motion. If anybody's in it, you're probably still in holding over the weekend. But I would have got out. Here's where I would have got out. So again, I'm looking at the 5 minute. I would have got in right here. It's coming up a little now. It's fine. It's still going down. Right at the bottom, and I'll give you guys the numbers for my MTFAs. This is, I forget the number myself, 13 and 10. So as you can see, they're red, red. They turn white. I like to pay attention to the cross and the color. It turns white, but I'm still not seeing any small candles. Remember, I said when you start seeing those small candles, you really have to start questioning what it's doing. So again, it's strong, it's strong, it's strong. You start seeing those small candles. I probably would have got out right here because this is telling me this is probably going to be a stronger pullback that I don't want to sit through. But again, I believe this is a pretty big trade. Let me count the pips on this. Got in here. I think it was like 100 pips. Yeah, I think this was the first take profit. So that's 50 pips. So you can ride this one out, but it's Friday. And I prefer you all to close out on Fridays, especially if you're new, because it doesn't, the market sometimes when you open up on Sunday night, you never really know what's going to happen, especially if it's a big news night. I prefer you all, unless you're really advanced and you've been marking up your charts for a while, take your profits, close out. That way you don't have to worry about fees over the weekend or anything like that. Now, if it's a 100 pip or a 200 pip move, then yeah, by all means stay in because that thing's still going for a while. But I probably would have got out right here and waited for another entry. So let's see how far did that reverse. So it went back about 8 pips. So I would have seen it go back and then I would have jumped right back in. I would have waited for these MTFA lines to be above the candles. Remember, in my MTFA training, I said it always has to be on, if it's a sell, you want to see those lines on the right side of those candles. If it's a buy, you also want to see it on the right, but they're going to be below. And that's why I like to separate it with the colors because it kind of helps you see things better. This is the same color as my candles. I kind of keep everything the same so that I'm not confused. I want to go into Euro USD. Yeah, this is the one I believe CJ was asking about. So a buy limit. This confused me. I can't even tell you how. I think for a good 4 weeks, this confused me. I did not understand what a buy limit was. It just made no sense to me whatsoever. So, a buy limit is basically a trade that's going one way, and you're going to set an entry price. This is the entry price they gave you. They set an entry price because they're expecting the candles to literally tap that specific spot and reverse. So I know I think I explained this to Trey this way. It's no different than thinking of being on the highway and making a U-turn. So you're going one way, you're just waiting for that U-turn point, and then you're going to turn around and go the other way. So that U-turn point is the entry price. That's going to be the price they give you. So you're going to see on your MT4 that's also a little bit different because normally for market execution, you're just going to put in your take profit and your stop loss. For buy limits, you're also going to have to add in this entry price. And for iPhones, you iPhone people, I believe it says just price, right? Leash is on. You have an iPhone. Have you done the buy limits? Okay. I believe it says price just like the Androids. For the Androids, it'll have a price on top, and that's where you enter that entry price for the buy limit. It's okay. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that was. I know that sometimes they use a different word. So that the reason why this trade never took off, because I know CJ was asking it, it never hit this line, and I think David explained that in the group. So it would have had to tap this to activate this trade. So whenever they put a buy limit in, sell limit, buy stop, sell stop, it's very rare. But if they put one in, you're gonna place that order. Now, when you look on your MT4, it's going to be gray. It's not going to be active because it's waiting to hit that entry price to activate that trade. So those trades, you don't have to worry about entries on those trades because this is your entry. So just set that and forget it and just wait for it to either hit your entry point and activate or it just won't like this one did and now the trade is pretty much done. Nothing will happen. You'll still see it in your phone. You can just delete it. Okay, so this was from yesterday. They called a buy on this one. So what time was this? Yeah, it was 7 p.m. This is the one that I was talking about in the group where I said I would hold off. I wouldn't jump in yet. I would wait till about 8:30. And let's see, what time did it actually move? Okay, so it started moving around 8. You're gonna notice if you look at every pair, and I any of you can go to your pairs tonight. I want some of you to do this. Go to any pair, just pick 3 pairs, random, and look at the times between 1700, which is going to be 5 p.m., and you want to look at 20 or 19. And you're going to see this on almost every single pair. Very rarely will you see something different. And if you notice, it's just consolidation during this time on almost every pair. What's happening during this time? The big banks, they're basically moving money around. That's why you see it's just they're trying to figure out what they're doing. They're planning their next move. What are they going to do at 8:30? So what happens at 8:30, and this is in the training for any of you guys that really want to dive deep into this kind of stuff. Um, What happens at 8:30 is a new shift takes over. So these big banks, they actually hire people to take your money. So there's somebody literally sitting behind a computer every single day making these moves. They're looking at, okay, how many people are in a sell right now and how many people are in a buy. If there's more money in them going moving the market this way, meaning they take your money, they're going to move the market this way. So this is the kind of stuff that happens every single day. So what happens at between 8 and 8:30 is a new shift happens. So that's why you see this. They're moving money around, the new shift takes over. They talk about what they're going to do, how they're going to take everyone's money, and now the takeoff. And this happens every single day. It's going to amaze you when you look at your charts that this happens exactly at this time every single day. So this is why the spreads are high too. So this is just a bad time to get into any trades. So what I would always do is if they send out a call between 5 and 7, I mean if you're at work, because I know some of you are at work at that time, then yeah, just place the trade, just set it and walk away from it because you don't want to miss it. But if you have the time, wait till at least 8:15 because around 8:15 you're going to start to see some movement and that's when you can draw your box. So right around here, see they called here and this is their suggestion to get in right here at this green. This is the number they gave as a suggestion. See, I'm going to draw a box right here. I'm drawing it at the top of the last high, and I'm doing the body. I don't do the wicks. And I'm gonna stop at the bottom of the last low, and I'm waiting for a breakout. Here you go. So this is exactly where I would have jumped in. Now, if you just took their suggestion here, you would have been fine. But I'm also looking for a few other things. Again, I stress this to you guys. Use these MTFA lines because they will stop you so many times from jumping in a trade that's going to have you in drawdown. Because I think there was a few last week that I know a few of you had jumped in and you were in drawdown for a while. I never got in them because my MTFA lines were on the opposite side of the candle. So it was already warning me that either a pullback was coming or that it was going to reverse completely. So I never got in those trades. So you want to make sure you're using this, and it doesn't have to be my specific MTFA. If you have something else you use, you just want to be using something that gives you a heads up on reversals and pullbacks. Do you have any questions? I don't want to just keep running with it and you guys are sitting there confused. Go ahead. I have two MTFAs here. Is this what you're talking about right here? Yeah, I have two MTFAs. So, because I have a certain strategy that I use. Normally, I would have one. Hold on. I should probably do that. So that when you see it coming up right here, this just if I'm looking at my charts right now, I'm questioning if this thing is going to start to reverse because it is above. But I'm also looking at the strength of the candles. They're not tiny. So I'm not too nervous still. I'm still doing okay. So it's going up, going up. Now, once I see this, you're going to notice this with these particular candles. That's why I like to use them. The minute there's going to be any type of pullback, you're going to see a different color candle immediately. And that's an immediate sign for a pullback. Now, these are really small, so I probably would have stood in this because I'm not really seeing any major signs. Like if I would have seen a red candle and the next candle here was one of these, I probably, it depends. It depends on how much further I had to go. But if I had about 5 more pips to go, I'd probably get out here. On the right, on the right side for buys. It's supposed to be basically underneath. You want it, if it's a buy, you want it under the candles. And if it's a sell, you're going to see it above the candles. So that's why you see right here, it's above the candles. So as soon as you start to see it crossing, as soon as you start to see it crossing, it's already telling you it's about to go the other direction. It starts to cross in the center of the candle. And you can see this a whole lot clearer on these candles as opposed to the regular Japanese candles. Yeah, and here's another thing. Here's a trick I use. This is the 5 minute. So I'm normally not watching the 5 minute like that. But if I do, if I'm on the 5 minute and I see this, I just want to mark that point where it happens. I'm probably going to jump up to the 15. I want to see what's happening at that point on the 15 minute because this will tell you. So now you look at the 15, that MTFA is underneath and that candle is strong. This isn't going anywhere. So now you know that's a minor pullback that might happen, but you're good to go. So if you ever see any type of pullback, even here you see it starting to come across, mark it off. Do you know where to get these? They're over here, right under the crosshairs. And it's the vertical line. Mark off the spot that you're looking at because whenever you go to a different chart, it's going to completely mess up where you were. Mark off the part where you were, the spot where you are, and go to a higher chart. Go to a 1 hour, go to just something higher than what you're looking at, and that will tell you. Because if you're here and you're seeing this, and then you go to the 1 hour and it's showing you a sell candle, it's time to get out because this thing is about to reverse big time. Anybody else has questions? Okay, good. I'm like that. That works. I told you guys I was going to show you an easy way to mark your trend lines. Hold on, I'm going to get rid of that right now. I forgot who was asking me about this the other day. So I find it a whole lot easier to find my trend lines this way than to mark them up with the candles. A lot of people like to mark up their trend lines with wicks. I personally don't. That's a preference. If you're already marking up trend lines with wicks, stick to what you're doing. I'm not trying to make you change your routine when you're marking up. I'm going to show you why I like to do it this way. So I'm just going to find 2 points, at least 2 points. If you can find three, that's great. And I'm going to show you now. So whenever you switch to a line chart and you mark up, you're missing all these wicks. And the reason why that's important is because if you're looking for a breakout, these wicks will sometimes have you out here. So it's going to take you longer to notice a breakout. When if you were close, I forgot where I just was, but I believe that's it. If you were close and this candle was to break out, the body of it was to break out, you already know this could possibly be now breaking out to the upside. Instead of having to wait for these wicks, which will have you waiting up here somewhere. Does that make sense? Yeah, absolutely. It definitely does because I used to struggle with the wicks when I first started marking these things because you see that right there? This used to confuse me. I used to say, okay, how should I put this? Should this be here? Because now it doesn't line up with this. Like, should it be here? But if you look at the line chart, you notice, okay, it lines up perfectly with all the bodies, which is exactly where it's supposed to be. Because basically, what this is doing is eliminating all of the fake outs. This is a fake out. This was a stop hunt. So the market makers jumped in. They knew everybody was on a sell, and they just threw this wick out just to stop everybody out and clear the board. So that's what that was. So if you can see, this will have you pretty much lined up. And you can do that with your take profits. Once you guys start marking your charts and you're looking for a place to take profit from, you can go back to that line chart. Now this is on a downtrend. I'm going to put my take profit right here. It's clear as day, right here. Now this is not going to be a big move. Let's see how many pips that would be because we're on the 15 minute. That's 10, it's 11 and 22 pips. So for those of you struggling with, okay, where do I put my take profit? It's that easy. Switch to a line chart and just see, okay, where was it before? Because it's going to stop at the same point. I would have entered right here. Hold on. I'm very crazy when it comes to my entries. I said I'm a little crazy with my entries, so I'm gonna find 2 points, and I needed to break those. I needed to break this line before I enter. So now let's go back to the candles. So I wouldn't have entered this trade yet. I needed to break this point so that I know it's a real downtrend for me. And I need to see this right here on the bottom. I need to see that down candle because right now this is still showing me that it's in the buy zone. Because remember, whenever these bars are up, it's a buy still. So I would have to see at least one little red bar at the bottom, and that would show me, okay, this is now turning into a sell, so we can sell this thing. And then I would have caught whatever move I can catch here if I'm looking to just catch some quick pips. Yeah, I probably would have went for this take profit. And a good way to confirm where it's going. So let's just say you mark these 2 points off right here, and you're trying to figure out, okay, is it really going to stop here or is it going to stop here? I mean, if you just want to be a conservative trader like David, he just goes for his 10 pips most of the time. You're going to go for this first one. That's 11 pips. But you can switch to the Renko chart, go up to the higher time frames. Hold on, I'm gonna get rid of these lines. These lines, just so that you know, well, I'll tell you after this. I'll explain that to you guys. Some of you might want to use that. Okay, so if you switch to the Renko chart, and if this is going over anyone's head because it's just a lot of information in the beginning, I'm sending out the recording and it'll start to all come together. Just, be patient with the process. So if you see right here, I just went from the 15-minute to the 1 hour chart, and this is showing me it's definitely going to hit that first line. So this is a short thing. So again, if you're a conservative trader, you're taking this take profit just for 11 pips, and it's a short thing. It's going to hit. That's why the Renko is showing you. Now, if you want to see if it's going to hit that other one, you can try looking at the 4 hour, and it's going to hit that second line as well. But that's a 4 hour time frame, which could be a lot longer. So, and usually when it's this close like this, sometimes it doesn't hit. It might just miss it by a pip or two because the market makers make it miss by a pip or two. So if you were going to take this second one, I would just move it up just a little so that you make sure it hits. Hold on, let me go back to the candles. Now, I had those lines on my chart. If you guys go to settings and session breaks, you can have these lines on your chart. Now, I like to have them on mine specifically because I want to know the separation in days. That's what these are, different days. And the reason I want to know that specifically, hold on. If you're on the 15-minute or the lower time frames, I want to know where these consolidation zones are. So right here, this is 5 o'clock all the way to 8 o'clock. So I want to know every single day. I have to be careful in these zones because most of the time they're going to be consolidating. And if they're not consolidating, most of the times they're making fake moves. So this right here would be a fake move. So what they did is right out the box, which they normally don't do this. So if you see this, it's you have to question the trade. Right out the gate, they did a heavy sell right here. So now everyone's jumping in this for a buy. And right at the top, you see this wick. They killed everybody. And it was really a sell. That's why it came right back down. So when the market makers are getting together right here and discussing what they're going to do with this trade, they discuss that this is going to be a sell. But they said, let's push it all the way up. Let's have everybody in for a buy, and then let's just drop it. And when we drop it, everybody's going to lose their money because they were in for a buy. Make sense? So it's always important to look at these first few hours just to get a good idea of what they're doing. I personally just don't trade at this time. Unless it's something like it's a certain formation or a certain pattern that I see formed right before 5 p.m. that I know for sure that pattern, after I see that pattern, it's a buy or a sell. Unless I see something like that, I'm not just jumping in this because I'm still questioning, is this a fake out? What are they planning right here? Because they're always planning right in this area. Anybody else have questions? This is your time, guys, so you can ask whatever. No, there's no stupid questions. Just go for it. Okay, I guess you guys are good. Sarah, did you want to ask those questions you had now? You can. No, no, no. You know what? You can. So, do you have your phone in your hand? Okay, so click on, if you're looking at go to the screen where you see your active trades. Now click on the little envelope looking icon right next to it. No, this is on the bottom. It's going to be the fourth icon. It looks like a little box or a little envelope. Yeah, yeah. Yes. So if you look in the top right hand corner, it looks like a calendar. Click on that. And you want to click on last week or last month, whatever you want to. Usually last week will show you everything. Yep. Yes. Yeah, that would be terrible if you couldn't see. No, you're good. Are, so you're not catching the whole move? Is that the issue? Mm-hmm. I'm thinking it's because of the time you're jumping in. If you see a lot of those the messages, they'll say we're up 70 pips, and it's usually an hour, 2, 3 hours later. So even though they give out that signal, and this is what I was talking about, like here, even though they're giving out this signal, everyone's not jumping in here. Some people are waiting for a good entry. So let's just say you do jump in here and that spread is big. Everybody's going to, when they jump in right here, they're immediately in profit. So they're already counting pip 1, pip 2, pip 3. You have a huge spread. So you're starting off way back here. So while everybody's all the way in profit, you're still trying to get just to break even. So that could be a huge deal breaker for you is maybe the times you're jumping in. Um, yeah, it could, especially because it makes sense. Yeah, especially this week, they gave out a lot of trades during that time. That's why I put that in the group. Like, guys, be careful with jumping in at this time because of those spreads. I've taken trades at that time, but it's usually like US 30 or something like that, where it's like 6 o'clock. The spread is big, but I'm going for 400 pips. So I don't mind, a big spread. But if you're going for like 60, 70 pips and you're already starting off negative 30, you have a long way to go before you see any profit. So it's definitely affecting your trades. Here, here's what I want you to do so that I can take a look at it to try to figure out exactly what it is, if it is that you're jumping in at the wrong time. When Take at least three of the pairs that you know what happened to, or even just two, because I just want more than one. Go to your chart, check the time you jumped in, mark it off with this horizontal line so I can see where you jumped in at, and then you're gonna take that vertical line. Then you're gonna take the horizontal line. Hold on. And I want you to mark off your actual entry price. So figure out what's the price I mean, you might have saw one thing, but remember because of those spreads, what price did you actually get in at? So mark that off. And then mark off if they did actually give an entry price, mark off the price that they gave. You can make it all different colors. Just mark it off so I know what's what when you send it to me. And then mark off the take profit. And that will help you see things so much clearer. Because if you look at your charts, if you mark them off and you see your entries here, which has happened to me on days where like I rushed and I really didn't look at the spread, my entries down here, let's just say the recommended entry was here. So yeah, I had a long way to go. Everybody's now over here all happy and I'm still trying to catch up. Yeah, it doesn't, you know what? It doesn't matter if they gave the entry or not because as long as if I can go to my to the Telegram myself as long as I know this is when they called the trade and I'll go and look to see if it was a buy or a sell. And then I just want to know your entry. That's what's important because then that'll tell me what happened. Yeah, that's strange. It has to be your entries. If they're giving out a number, if they sometimes once in a while they'll give out a number. They don't do that often and I know why they don't. They don't because it's they don't want the feedback from people that feel later that they could have had a better entry. They could have got five more pips had they given them just an entry that was instead of here. If they would have gave them the entry here, they would have got like five. So that's why they don't like to really give entries like that. But what I would do, oh, I forgot where I was going with it. What was your question? I'm so sorry. I still never took that nap, by the way. Go ahead. No, I know because I said I was gonna take a nap and then I was still answering people and every response I got was, "Aren't you going to sleep?" Like, yeah, I'm sorry. No, you can set a buy stop if you don't want to sit there. Let's just say you're busy and you're on the way to, drop him off at school or anything like that. You can set if it's a buy, just set a buy stop. So the buy stop is you can set if they give the entry, set the entry price, and that way as soon as it hits that, it'll take off from there. And you don't have to sit there and wait for it. If they don't, then you can go to your chart yourself if you're home and if you won't need to do the whole box thing for this. You can literally just, okay, the last high was here. So obviously when it breaks there, it'll probably take off. Now again, you're not watching, so if it does come back, you're sitting in that drawdown. But it's a better way than just having to sit there if you don't want to sit there and look at it. You're welcome. Hi, VG. Good. I'm gonna start posting the signals in our private group. That way, you guys don't have to worry about looking at the Telegram. And hopefully, if any of you know I'm taking my nap, my once in a week nap, I'll let you know. So I'll let you guys know. So if you guys see the signal, you can post it. Um, what you want to do is you want to use this indicator, and I'm gonna send you the training on that because I don't think you got to see that one, VG. No, no, I think it was like two or three before that, but I'm either way, I'm gonna send it to you because I'm telling you, this indicator right here is so powerful. If you just look down, it will tell you if it's a good time to enter or not. Because there's so many times, like right here. Let's see, wait, let me find a good one. I'm gonna show you. So let's just say you were getting in for a buy right here. Let's just say your signals or whatever you're trading patterns, Fibonacci is telling you that this is a buy. So you're looking at this candle, it's a sell, sell, sell. It got smaller. Now you see a buy candle. You're like, yes, I'm getting in for a buy. If you look straight down, I have my crosshair there, it's showing you it's a sell still. So no, I wouldn't get in this. I would wait. And you can see it ends up dropping, and it does this with every single pair. There's so many pairs that I've even said to myself, okay, now's a good time to get in. And then when I look down, it's doing the total opposite down here. And I'm like, oh no, it's not. And sure enough, 15 minutes or 5 minutes later, it reverses big time. So I'm glad I didn't get in. So just pay attention to this indicator. It will tell you so much. And those MTFA lines too. Yeah, and this indicator, some indicators when you pull it up on your trading view on your app, they don't come through clearly on the phones. I don't know if some of you have noticed that. They'll for whatever reason they look kind of jumbled or they just don't come through correct. But this indicator, it'll be on the bottom of your charts on TradingView when you pull it up. Just it'll look just like this. So you can't get confused from it. No, I'm gonna put the signals in our little main group that we all talk in. Because I know there's a few people that just don't go into that Telegram, so they've texted me like, "Oh, I see it was released an hour ago. I missed it." And so I'm just gonna put it in our group. That way I know everyone looks at our group more often. And if I'm home, guys, I'm gonna start posting charts too. So if I happen to be home, I'll put out a chart. Let's just say they do a sell, they call a sell here. I'll put out a chart with my box or just showing you whatever I'm doing, and I'll let you know what I'm waiting for. If I'm waiting for the breakout right here, that way you guys can kind of see. And if you're home or even if you're out, you can kind of look for that same little spot for that breakout because that's what I'm looking for. Yes. Oh, wait, before you ask that question, somebody was asking me about this when I posted my chart in the group. So normally this will look like this when you guys try to make a box. I'm pretty sure if any of you have done it, it looks like this. I have, I'm just a little OCD. I can't stand too many things on my charts. So I need that off. If you want it to look more clean, you just go into settings. As soon as you make that square, you should see that little box pop up. Hold on, right up here or wherever you have it on your screen. Go into this settings and the background. You can take it off or put it on, whatever you like. I just like to see the candles. I like to see what they're doing. So when you have that shadow there, you really can't see what they're doing. Okay, go ahead, Sarah. Sorry, I remember that question I got. No, it does. So you want to figure out, being that you're still very new to this, I would pick two or three pairs that you want to focus on and you want to learn how they move. So let's just say maybe pick a GBP pair, like GJ moves fast. I would pick a euro pair, maybe like Euro NZD, Euro AUD, and then pick a USD pair. And that way you'll get to really learn because these pairs they move the same way all the time. Once you learn them, they all have their own little way of moving. Once you learn their patterns, you can usually just pretty much know what's about to happen next when you see the certain patterns that they make. And a lot of the pairs too, on at certain times of the day, on that day, like every Wednesday, this pair does that. It drops dramatically. A lot of them do that often too. So you'll start to learn that. So I would just pick three pairs and mark those charts up. And you want to have more than one. This way, if one or two of them are consolidating for the week, you still have one that's moving. And I would just focus on that. Yeah, you want to do Sunday night. Don't do Sunday night when the market opens because from 6 to about, I say 9, 10 o'clock, everything's still just kind of figuring itself out. So you want to just mark it a little bit later, and then you want to mark again Wednesday morning because a lot takes place on Tuesdays. There's a lot of reversals and things like that. And Wednesday you can do either in the late afternoon, or if you're gonna do in the morning, just take a look to see if there was a big reversal, because it's a good reversal time, like Tuesdays to Wednesdays. Yeah, that's a good time because it's midweek, so you pretty much get to see what the trade is gonna do. Now, if you see you mark your charts and then there's a big reversal, because remember, it doesn't always specifically happen on those days. If there happens to be a big reversal that Wednesday night, then you want to go back in and just fix up whatever you have to fix up because now it's going to be going the other way. So you want to add some support and resistance lines or however it is you're marking your charts. Yes. Are you marking up support and resistance? Is that how you're marking your charts? Because I know everyone has different ways. Yes. Yes, you can save your charts up here. If you go right up here, it'll allow you to save it and you can give it a name. It depends on your plan. I don't know how the different plans. Some plans only allow you to save like two charts. Some allow you to save five. So it depends on your plan, but they should allow you to save at least two. Now, if you're doing support and resistance, if that's how you're marking up your charts, you can do the same thing that I was showing you before to look for the take profit. Find 2 points. Because sometimes I know when I started, when I would look at these candles, I just couldn't see it. It took me a long time when I first started to see support and resistance. Like, okay, there's just I just saw the candles and the wicks. It was just all this noise. So if you, it's yes. Yeah, so if you look at this right here, you're on the line chart. So you see one, two, three. This is a good spot right here. So you want to draw your line. And when you switch to the candles, let's go to Hakanashi. I can't stand those. You can see. That's a strong, and I probably drew it a little high because I guarantee you that that wick should have touched it. But you can see it's so clean. Now, if you were doing this on your own, if you're looking at these wicks, this is why I say in the beginning I was so confused by this because where does it go? Does it go here, here? It's like, but when you go to that line chart, yeah, exactly. So you'll end up having, if you're anything like I was when I first started, I had things like this. My charts looked a little crazy. Like it was just everywhere. I had, I had, yes. Yes, and that's confusing. So if you just switch to the line chart whenever you're marking off, it'll just make that so much more clear for you. So you're gonna see right here, you have 3 points touching. I always like to look at the points. Let me get rid of that because it's just confusing me now. I like to look at the points where I have some taps, at least two on the top and two on the bottom. So there's three taps from the top, and I like to look as far, there's one tap from the bottom. And I'll go back a little bit, just trying to find another tap from the bottom. If I can't find one, there you go. So to me, this is a strong zone right here. If I can't find, let's just say I was setting this as a TP and I wasn't doing support and resistance. If I was setting this as a TP and I see all these taps to the top and I go back a little and I can't find any taps from the bottom, to me, I question this. Should this be my TP? And I'm going to tell you, it's it's usually spot on because I've done this. I've taken take profits where I just said, you know what? I believe this is a good TP. I'm taking it, even though I don't see any taps from the bottom, just the top. I've taken it, and it ended up just missing by like one or two pips. So this right here, it will show you that this is a very strong point right here. It's like 98% that this thing is going to come back to this zone every single time it's in this area. It's going to stop here. At least two. At least, yeah, at least two taps on each side. And you can go back for that. I'll go back sometimes a couple weeks. I just need to see something. If I see every single time, you see like right here, it just doesn't make it. If I keep seeing that, it might happen again. So I'm not taking that as a TP and I'm not marking it off as a support and resistance because I like my zones to be strong. Yes. Yes, exactly. Any other questions? Go for it. I'm home. 1 or 2 trades a day. Are you talking about taking your own or taking the signals? No, you're fine to take 2 trades. That's what I was doing with everyone, is basically helping them go over their lot sizes so that you can open up, depending on, of course, your account size, you should be able to open up at least two trades with the proper lot size with 1 to 2 positions. If you have a bigger account, you can probably open up 3 to 4 positions. Just send me a screenshot, all of you. Send me a screenshot at the beginning of every week. Let me know what, so that way I can see what your balance is. And I'll let you know, okay, for the rest of the week, a safe lot size for you will be, let's just say 0.05, and the max amount of positions you can open up this week is 5. So then you can figure out, okay, I can open up 5. Do I want to just put all my money on one of these signals and open up 5 positions? Or do I want to split it up and maybe open up 3 and 2 of a different one? My suggestion is if you're in a trade, let's say you do open up two signals go out, so you can open up 5 positions. Let's say you do 3 of one pair and 2 of another. If you're in the one that has 3 and it's moving, you're in profit and that thing is moving, get out of the other 2 and open up 2 more positions on the one that's moving. So that way you have more positions on that one that's in profit. I mean, not if you're in big drawdown, but if you're like a dollar or something, not too bad where it won't really affect your account. Get out of it and open up more positions on that one that's moving because you're gonna make. Remember, yeah, I'll close it out. If I see that I have two open and one is just flying, I'm getting out of that other one that might have me stuck in consolidation, or maybe it's just not moving fast. Because some of these pairs sometimes they just move really slow. And I know some of you have seen that you'll be in profit $10 and then it's back down to like $8 or whatever it is. So get out of those. If you're in another trade that within 5-10 minutes you already profit $30-$40, you want to get in that one, open up more positions. So when I know a lot of you saw that the screenshot of the guy that made started with $300 and he grew his account real fast. That's how he did it. Multiple positions. So when you get those trades that are moving, especially like when you see they give out a signal that says 130 pip possibility, if you take that and you see it's moving, you want to open up three or four, whatever your max number of positions are for that week, put them all on that trade. Because if that's 130 pips, that's 130 times three or times four, as many positions as you have. That's how you're going to grow your account real fast. Yes, but only close if it's not really going to hurt your account. Now, if you're negative, if you're starting off with a big account, a few thousand in there, and you're in drawdown, and it's whatever in drawdown 500-600, I'm staying in there. If I still believe in if I mark the chart myself or it's a signal, if I still believe it is about to go the way it's supposed to, then I wouldn't get out. I'm not going to take that big of a hit on the account. But if it's something small, especially if you're starting with a smaller account and it's just in drawdown like $1 or $2, and your other one is already in profit $20-$30, get out and open up in the other one. Wait for a pullback and then open up another position. But you can always text me. If you're not sure, if you're in two different trades and they drop another signal and you see the ones you're in just aren't moving, send me a text and I'll tell you if it's worth getting out and jumping into the other one. You're welcome. Anybody else? So we're good. Good. Hmm. No, that all depends on your account size. So if you're starting off with a smaller account, then you're gonna want to stick in that range. So just send me like I said, send me a screenshot. But normally, if you're starting off with a couple hundred in your account, you're gonna be below the 0.10 range. If you're starting off with a couple thousand in your account, you should be in like the 0.20, which will be like $2 a pip and up. Hmm. That's gonna be a 0.04. Hmm. And about two positions, 2 to 3 positions. I made a chart, but I haven't. I sent it out months ago, so I don't even know none of you probably have it. I'm gonna send it to you. Yeah, I have. I actually made a chart, and I have a list for any of you that are confused by how much each pip is worth. Like when you see the 0.10, 0.20, all of that. I have a whole list going all the way. I believe I have it going up to like $200 or something like that per pip. So I'll send that to you guys too. You're welcome. Yeah, I wouldn't, the lot sizes, that's the main thing that hurts people's accounts when they're using big lot sizes way bigger than they should for their accounts, or they're just trading too many trades. When they have like 10 pairs open and they have $100 account, that's just not going to work. So remember to look. I think I sent all of you the margin level percentage training I did. You really want to pay attention to that margin level percentage. It will save your butt. Seriously. Because there's so many times where, news can hit and the trade will reverse on you. You can hold it. If you were safe with your margin level percentage, you can actually hold that thing. Now, unfortunately, if it's a big news drop that you got caught in, you might be holding that trade for 2 or 3 days before it reverses. That's just normal. But at least your account can hold it. You wouldn't have to close out. Anything else? Yeah, that's fine. Yeah, I mean, nah, I don't mind. And I don't know if you all had a chance to look at the money strategy yet. I know David was posting about it today. Did any of you watch that? Okay. Yes, I know. Well, your schedule is nuts. So yeah, but if you guys, I know it's nuts. I never know where you are. So if you once you guys watch the money strategy, send me your charts this weekend, just privately. Just send them over to me. Markup. I know David was doing that with me last week, and you see this week he's spot on his entries. So just mark it off, and you can just literally when you're on your charts, don't worry about if your chart looks different. I like a black background these days. I don't think so. That's good. That's good. We're gonna do a Zoom on that. Thank you. Well, okay, so I'm still gonna do a Zoom on that. That way you guys can, ask me more questions. Because on the company one, you can ask questions, but I know a lot of people prefer not to really ask questions on the company one. Those chart markups during the week, I know Sarah's been on a lot of them. That's exactly what they're doing. So they're actually going, they usually will pick a few pairs and they're showing you how they mark up charts. Now, depending on whose training you're on, they're going to mark up very different. One of them, you'll see a lot of stuff on his chart. A lot. It drives me nuts because you guys know I hate too much stuff on my charts. Um, you have to figure out your style of trading. That's going to be huge. And that's only going to come with time. That's not something you're going to know right now. So the way you're really going to learn how to mark up charts is by looking at a few different people mark up charts. And you're going to see someone mark up charts and you're going to say to yourself, okay, I actually see what they're doing. I get it. And there's going to be other people where you see them mark up charts and you're going to be looking at it saying, what the hell? All I see is lines everywhere. That's going to happen a lot because a lot of traders like to have, I mean, I've seen some real professional traders like they're making a good money. They just prefer to have lines. Just I mean, just about everywhere. Their charts will, and I know one of you have seen this because you actually messaged me about it. But you'll actually see like this kind of thing on someone's chart, and there's just lines everywhere. So you might you might look at this and say, "Oh, I get it. I see exactly why they're putting that line there and that line there." I look at this and I get a headache. I'm like, "What's going on here? It's confusing." So you just have to figure out what kind of trader are you, and are you going to be the type of trader that likes to trade naked? And I don't mean clothing. When you, yeah, naked trading means that you have very little on your charts. You just like to keep it very basic. Maybe you have like one or two trend lines, and that's about it. And you could, I, I trade that way. I don't like a lot of my charts, and even if I do, even if I draw a trend line, like let me show you. Because I'm really crazy about stuff on my charts. It drives me nuts. Let's just say I drew this right here. It might bother me. I really love to look at just the candles. I want to see what they're doing. I want to see what formations are forming. So I'll always, even if I have a trend line, I'm like, okay, I know this is on the way down. If you click on this little eyeball right here, it gets rid of anything on your chart, and it'll come right back if you click it again. But if you just maybe you like Sarah, you were saying you marked up and you had lines everywhere. So you might want to just take a look at it sometimes without everything and just to see like, okay, wait, I forgot, like, let me just look at these candles. But you'll figure that out. Some people do really like having a lot of lines on their chart. The whole point of marking up is you want to know where things are going. I don't have to look at your chart and know. I mean, I probably will because I've already been doing this a while. You can send me a chart with a million lines and I'll know exactly why you put the lines because I can already see, okay, that's she was trying to mark that trend and then that trend over there. But the most important thing is that you know why you have all these lines on your chart. So if you have to have this line here to tell you, okay, it's going down here, and then you have to have another trend line here to tell you this is going up here, do it. Put as many lines as you need to in the beginning, and you'll start you as you get better and better at marking up your charts, you'll probably start using less and less lines. It'll come though. Don't stress that part. It took me a long time to really get good at marking up charts. Well, you're gonna wake up one day. Someone, actually, a professional trader told me this. I went to this big time trading event and I was, talking with a lot of the traders afterward. I had just started. I think I was like 1 month into learning. And I was telling the trader, I don't see what everybody's talking about. I said, during the whole presentation, he was talking about, do you see that butterfly? And do you see the Batman? And I'm looking, what is he? Everything was over my head. I'm like, I don't see anything. I see scribble, I see lines. That was my mindset. I was sitting there getting frustrated. And when I spoke to him after, he said, Stacy, you're gonna literally, this is what's gonna happen to you. He said, you're gonna wake up one day. You're gonna open up your charts. You're gonna look at the charts. He's like, you're gonna see everything. It's almost like a person that can't read. He said, and then one day you open up the book and you understand every word on the page. And I didn't believe him because I was like, yeah, that sounds great. That'd be nice. And literally one day I did. I opened up the charts and I just saw every pattern on the chart. I could see it. So you're learning when you're looking at these charts, you're learning a new language. These things, and that's part of that PDF I sent out to all of you with the candlesticks, the candlestick Bible. It's telling a story. Every single candle is telling a story. Every single formation is telling a story. You just don't know what they all mean yet, but it's all going to come together, and one day you're going to look, you're going to, oh, there that goes. Okay, now I know when it does this, this is what it's trying to do next. So just be patient with it. It takes a few months to really get all of this in your system and for your brain to even recognize half of it. Yeah, those trainings are good. Sarah, I know Sarah can account for them. She's been on a lot of them. Yes. Sarah, have you been on AFIAs? Oh, did she? She had to go. Yeah, Afe. Oh, you were on FAS too. I find her style of marking up very easy for new traders. How did you find it? How did you find it? Afe. Her name is Afe. Yes. Yeah. No, I wasn't on her training this week. If you still have the link, just share it in the group. That way everyone can join it. How you got the link? It's always those links. Okay, I'll get it from her if anything, and I'll post it for everyone. That way everyone can join it. Yeah, sometimes the Telegram channels, I don't know why they don't let you copy that link. So I'll just get it from her and I'll post it in the group for everyone. Yeah, that's someone I would attend, VG, if you could get on hers. That way, because she breaks it down really easy. The other ones might feel complicated. Okay, I'll send that to you. Okay, I'll send that to you. Yeah, I think you'll like her. All right, you guys are good? You okay? Well, whatever. Well, just message me during the week, and like I said, after you guys watch that, the money strategy, mark up your charts. Just find like two or three good entries from that strategy, or what you think is a good entry. Take a screenshot and send it to me, and I'll tell you, yeah, that's a perfect entry, or okay, you could have actually got in right here, and this would have been a way better entry, and I'll explain why. And that's how you're gonna learn faster. Okay? Oh, you did? Can you post it? Thank you. All right, guys. So, like I said, if you have any questions, just shoot me a message. I'm here. So, okay. All right, I'll take a look. All right. No problem. All right. Have a good night, guys. Bye bye.